We will share an American short story about two Thanksgiving Day gentlemen by O. Henley. This short story is in O. Henley's collection, The Trampled Lamp and Other Stories about the 4 Million. It was published in 1907.
And let's talk about the story.
First, we will talk about this episode's summarize. On Thanksgiving Day, all Americans go back to the cozy house and eat a big dinner. At that time, one old gentleman tried to keep one tradition. That is, he found a poor person and provided a big feast until got full. Feed a poor person. Every year, he had been hungry on Thanksgiving Day. However, this year he was so full. This is why when an old gentleman found his and took him to a restaurant, he felt disappointed.
Thank you, I'm very hungry. Stuffy was very full, but he understood that he was part of a tradition. His desire for food on Thanksgiving Day was not his own. It belonged to this kind old gentleman. True, America is free, but there are some things that must be done. The old gentleman led Stuffy to the restaurant and to the same table where they had always gone. "There are none here." "Here comes that old man," said the waiter. "That bites that old no-good fellow at dinner every Thanksgiving." The old gentleman sat at the table, watching. The waiters brought food, and more food, and Stuffy began to eat. No great and famous soldier ever battled more strongly against an enemy.
The turkey and all other foods were gone almost as quickly as they appeared. Stuffy saw the look of happiness on the old gentleman's face. He continued to eat in order to keep it there. In an hour, the battle was finished. "Thank you," Stuffy said. "Thank you for my Thanksgiving dinner." Then he stood up heavily and started to go to the wrong door. A waiter turned him in the right direction. The old gentleman carefully continued out $1.3 and left 15 cents more for the waiter. They said goodbye, and they did each other each ear at the door. The old gentleman went south and Stuffy went north.
Stuffy went around the first corner and stood for 1 minute. Then he fell. There he was found. He was picked up and taken to the hospital. They put him on a bed and began to try to discover what sickness had made him fall. And an hour later, the old gentleman was brought to the same hospital, and they put him on another bed and began to try to discover what his sickness could be. After a little time, one of the doctors met another doctor, and they talked. "That nice old gentleman over there," he said. "Do you know what's wrong with him? He is almost dead for need of food. A very proud old man, I think. He told me he has had nothing to eat for 3 days." So, I think this story has a lot of literary techniques. So, what literary techniques did you notice, Konami?
Oh, I think this story's technique is a contrast of two characters. Each of the two gentlemen has a different social background and purpose. You can think about human nature, poverty, and social conditions through the difference between the two characters. Also, I think the point of the story is that reader cannot expect the ending.
Yes.
Yeah, the unexpected endings makes reader want to read it again while paying attention to the character's behavior.
I see.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah, me too. Like, you have a good point of view.
Oh, thank you. So, Fuka, what did you think of the ending?
I surprised about ending. How about you? Did you guys surprise about ending?
Yes,
Yes,
Yeah.
surprising.
Yes, because not only Staffy paid, but also the gentleman also come to the hospital because he didn't eat anything for 3 days.
Yes.
I couldn't understand why didn't eat. He has money. But after we discussed, I guess the old gentleman also does not have money, but to feed for Stiffy Pete, he was patient with his food for 3 days.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can't believe
Yes,
he can like stand for 3 days.
yes. The author of Henley always writes a story that has a unique and unexpected ending, so this story's ending is also unexpected.
Yes, true.
Yes, we surprised.
Mm.
Yes. And next, did you find any connection to Japanese author or stories, Honoka?
Thank you for question. I like to talk about the depiction of complexity of kindness connected to Japanese stories. In Japan, there is a story called The Spider Sleds by Ryunosuke Akutagawa. The story is about a sinner who falls into hell, but is saved because of a small good deed he did in the past. However, his intentions are ruined by his selfish side. The story highlights the ambiguity of good and evil when kindness is intertwined with selfish actions. This episode is also